All right, guys, so we back with another video, man, and today we got this magnetic wireless floating style keyboard sent to us by CHESONA. Now, shouts out to them for sending this over, man. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys aren't familiar with CHESONA, you can go back on the channel and take a look at some of the other iPad cases that they sent us in the past. But today we're going to be focusing on this one, and I am really, really stoked to dive in, man. So I'm going to show you guys where you can pick this bad boy up from. We'll go through every single thing that comes inside of the box. We will then get the iPad, fit this thing, man, and check functionality and all of that good stuff, man. Show you some ways to use this, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so if you're looking for this one, you can find it right here on Amazon. I'll make sure I throw a link up in the description, but the price is going to run you about $109.98. And again, this is the CHESONA magnetic floating keyboard case. And this is good for the iPad Pro 11 and for the iPad 5th and 4th Gen Air. All right, iPad Air 5th and 4th Gen. All right, real quick, we'll scroll through, see what else we can find on this bad boy. Right here, it's going to show you pretty much a quick little glimpse of what it's going to look like for you. Right here, it says it has a USB-C cable in the box. Magnetic floating design. So basically kind of sort of like the Apple Magic keyboard for the iPad. It's going to kind of give you that vibe. Here's a little bit of the dimensions, and it's 0.7 inches thick right here. What else we got? Easily carry for anywhere, or easily carry anywhere, man. Ultra thin, weighing at 2.7 pounds, 2.07 pounds. All right. Precise, comfortable 69 key layout. It does have that little iPad shortcut key row across the top, and you guys know how I feel about that. Standard layout right here. What else we got? 7 colors for the keys. They backlit. These are the colors right here. Press that function plus the return key to access these colors. USB-C charging port. Says you can get about 100 days out of it once it's charged. At least that's what I'm assuming that says. Right here, multi-function touchpad. So you're going to have switch web. You're going to have open search, multi-touch trackpad, zoom in and out. So it's going to have a few functions on it, which I think is also cool. Right here, you got the magnetic case, shortcut keys, backlit, Type-C, smart trackpad, Apple Pencil, you name it, right? This is the iPads that it is pretty much going to work with right here. So you got the iPad Pro 11-inch, 4th Gen, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and then you have the iPad Air 5th and 4th Gen. And right here is just a small, nice little picture of what that's going to look like, giving you that vibe of like that Apple Magic Keyboard. Is giving you that vibe, man. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the box. So looking at the box, it is nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest with you. It just has some branding going on right here, magnetic wireless keyboard, and all it has is a nice picture of the floating style keyboard for the iPad, and that is it. So taking off the top, once you open it, first things first, you're going to have this little customer card right here. Pause that if you want to take a look at that. Just a little customer card right there. And right here, next you're going to have the user manual. Now this user manual, I'm going to go through these pages so you guys can pause the screen, all right? Because this user manual is going to have everything that you need right here, all right? So package includes, I need you to pause the screen right here on the pairing steps. I'm going to need you to pause the screen so you can get that charging your keyboard. Right here, it's going to give you the specifications, but I need you to pause the screen right here on the function key row so you can know exactly what each function key do on that row. All right, right here, next page, we're going to go ahead and pause the screen right here so you can see how to change the backlight. You can see the pairing buttons and all of that good stuff, the indicators right here, and then on this side right here, you're going to have the touchpad gestures. All right, so make sure you pause the screen right here so you can get those touchpad gestures. And keep in mind, I won't go through every single touchpad gesture. I will go through some of those keys on the function row, but we have used a couple of their keyboards in the past, so I'm already kind of familiar with how that's going to work. So, but we will go through that stuff as well. And then right here on this last page, power saving mode and troubleshooting. I just wanted you guys to be able to pause the screen there. All right. So user manual. Next, a little bit of foam. Right here on this side, you're going to have, looks like this is obviously going to be the USB-C charging cable. If I can get it out, which we already know what that's going to look like, but we got the charging cable right here, USB-C style, and it is fairly long, has a little bit of good length to it. Move that off to the side. And then last but not least, we are going to have the actual keyboard right here, all right? And it's in a little protective sleeve, and here we go, right here. And first impressions, let me go ahead and sit this down. First impressions, just looking at it, it does have this matte feel. So as you can see, it's going to be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. It does have that going for it. Has a little bit of weight to it. All right, not out of the ordinary. Going to have your cutout for your camera area right there. Once you open this up, that hinge is pretty tight, but it's going to open. And this is what the keys is going to look like. Well, this is what the keys are going to look like right here. Want to make sure you guys see that. Got that function row going across right here. You got your trackpad and everything. Let's take a look at how thick it is. It does open up pretty nice. I will change the camera view here in a minute so you guys can see that. But the hinge is really nice and tight. Got your USB-C charging right here. Got your power on and off right here as well. Nothing on this side right here. But it is a fingerprint magnet. I got to tell you that. Fingerprint magnet right here. Nothing going on there. Let's take a look at how thick it could be or is. So to be honest with you, it's not that thick. It doesn't close like all the way down, but I think that's how the Magic Keyboard does too. Not 100% sure, but as you can see, that's what that looks like from the side view. All right. And when you open this, let you see what the side view look like as well, like this. So this is how thin the keyboard is. I want you guys to be able to see that. It's really thin, really thin. That's really thin right there. So that's what that's gonna look like. All right, so just so you guys can see that, I want you to see me open this and how it bends back right here, and that's as far as it's gonna go. So you open it up just like that. You'll get to that first stage. You'll get to right here, and then it just bends back right there. All right, as you can see, it just bends back there, and that's what that looks like. That's how far that bends. I want you guys to be able to see this. That's about how far that's gonna bend, all right? Just so you guys can see that. That's about as far as that is going to bend. You guys can see that really well, all right? That's about as far as it's gonna bend, just like that, but it's gonna float. All right, so real quick, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get the iPad, get this thing fitted. I will come back here in a hot minute after I play around with this for a second, just to make sure I get familiar with it. As far as pairing this thing is concerned, you'll just turn it on. The Bluetooth button has a little Bluetooth symbol right here. Just gonna hold that button just like the manual says. Let me show you, so you guys can see that. I want you to understand that, because I know a lot of people get confused with how to pair some of these keyboards, to be honest. But where is it? Right here, pairing. Turn on the keyboard, switch it on. Press the function and the Bluetooth button for 3 seconds. The blue indicator will flash quickly to enter pairing mode, and then you'll just go on your iPad and find it from there. All right, so you hit the function, hold this B button right here, Bluetooth, hold that B button. You'll see the light start to flash right here, the Bluetooth light. You'll see it flash right there, and then boom, once it starts flashing, you'll connect it to the iPad. So that's how you do that. All right, I'll be right back. So first things first, I did dim the lights so you guys can see the backlit key. So that's where we'll start. So in order to activate the backlit keys, you just press this button right here, and that will turn them on. You have 3 levels of brightness. That's the first level. 2, 3, that's the third level of brightness right there. And in order to cycle through, you'll just press this one button right here. And that's how you get through the backlit keys. We'll leave it right here on this color. To go through some of the keys on the function row, you have to press function right here, FN, press function, and you can press search. You can get rid of search. You got the brightness up and down just like that by holding the function key. Right here, you can take a screenshot. I think that's awesome. Hold the function key, press number 4, you can take a screenshot. Then right here, I'm not gonna do any of these buttons right here because that's gonna control the music. Don't wanna get copyright strikes. But you can then go to like muting and unmuting and so forth, all right? So that function row does work. And if you were in something like search, you can go back to the home page by just pressing function and this key right here. So the typing experience on here is actually pretty good. So just real quick, I'm gonna type something for you guys so you can kind of hear the keys. Real simple, nothing over the top. Just wanted you guys to hear the keys. Typing on here is good. The mouse is, well, the click pad, well, the pad is actually really clicky, as you can see. Sounds really clicky. You can hear that. You got the right click, left click. So left click does that, and then right click gives you that. So I like that aspect as well. Okay, so one thing that I ran into that was an issue for me before we get into a few of these trackpad gestures and then close this video out is that when I first turned on the keyboard and I connected it Bluetooth to my iPad, keep in mind my iPad was already turned on. One issue I ran into is that the function row key was working, but I couldn't type anything like if I was to pull up the search or if I pulled up notes and so forth. So I actually did have to go into the manual, which is right here. And I went to troubleshooting right here, and I had to do this. It was, I mean, I'm kind of glad they did have this manual, but I did have to do this. So I didn't follow these steps all the way, but you guys can see what the manual says. I'm gonna tell you what I actually did, which is probably kind of sort of some of this, but what I ended up doing to get it to type is that I reset the Bluetooth. Well, I disconnected the iPad from the Bluetooth keyboard. I turned the keyboard off. I turned my iPad off. I then turned the iPad back on, turned the Bluetooth back on, connected the iPad back to the keyboard, and then I was able to type. So I didn't really kind of sort of follow the instructions in here. I just did it kind of on a whim. But when I went back through and looked at what the instructions said, I kind of did it without really knowing, you know what I mean? So that was just one thing I ran into. So if you do get this keyboard and you do run into that issue where the keys aren't typing, you can press the function row key, but none of the actual other keys are typing, then you'll have to turn your iPad off, turn off the Bluetooth, then kind of recycle that, and that's how you'll get it back functioning properly. So the troubleshooting steps in the manual actually did work, and I did run into that little bit of an issue, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. So real quick, we're gonna go through a handful of these trackpad gestures. I do have the manual right here for reference. We'll do about 2 or 3 of these guys because it's nothing out of the ordinary. We've seen these on CHESONA's keyboards in general, and they all work perfectly fine. So right here, we can just click, left click, and drag just like that, which I think is actually pretty cool. We can go down here and double click. So with 2 fingers, we can click and we can pull up like a side menu just like that. On an app, I think that's actually pretty cool. We can take 2 fingers and slide to the right like this to get to, you know, like the app library or switch screens and so forth. That's pretty cool. App switcher, we can go 3, is it 3 up? Let me make sure, 3 up. Get to the app switcher just like that. Back to the main interface. 3 should be 3 down, just like that to get back to the main interface. And then you got switching the active windows, which is 3 to the left and 3 to the right. Basically we have, I can go back into like the notes and show you one more time, but you can double click. You can double click on the left and you're good to go. You can then double click on the right and you can pull up other functions as well. So like I said, guys, that's just a handful of those gestures. You can take a look at it right here if you want to see which ones that I did miss or I didn't go over, like zoom in and out and stuff like that. But just for the sake of the video, this is the trackpad gestures, and we just did a handful of them, right? So I know the video is going a little bit too long, but this is the last thing I want to show you guys because for some reason I just feel like it's needed. I just want to give you guys this side profile real fast of what this looks like. So the keyboard is on there via, you know, it's magnetized, so it's just sitting on there, it can't come off. And it just has that floating design. As you can see, I wanted you to be able to see that bend right here with that floating design right here. So you guys can kind of get that gist right there, all right? Got that floating design. It's just sitting right up off right here with that space, just sitting off, just floating, just like that. Just thought I wanted to show you guys that real quick. So my final thoughts on this keyboard, guys, is that I think it is great, man. I think CHESONA knocked it out of the park with this one right here specifically. I love the backlit keys. I love kind of everything about it. These keys sound great. They feel real nice and clicky and very responsive. The touchpad is great, very responsive. And I like that it's very, very clicky as well. I love the fact that you still have that Apple pencil spot open up at the top, like that is Bluetooth, and that you can charge it via USB-C. If I had to say one thing that I don't like that's really not a deal breaker is the fact that it is a fingerprint magnet when it comes down to this mat. As you can see, it's just a fingerprint magnet. But other than that, it looks nice and sleek, man. And I think that they really outdid themselves on this one, man. So I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I know this video has been too long already as it is, man. But those are just some quick final thoughts. You guys know I'll come back at a later time, a couple of months from now, and we'll revisit this one. We'll also go through and I'll put all of the CHESONA keyboards that I have. I'll bring them all out at some point and we'll go through every single one again just to kind of at least look at them and kind of refresh you guys' memory on those as well. All right. If you found this video to be helpful in some way, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that like button so the YouTube algorithm can be nice to this video. And it's been your man Jay, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right. Peace.